For more on this, we now speak to Nelson Mandela Bay Mayor Gqeberha Niekerk, and he joins us via our video link. Gary, thank you so much for joining us here on the late edition. You must feel vindicated about the outcomes of the courts today. What is your response and your reaction to today's judgment?
Thank you very much. No, there was never any doubt regarding this. If you followed this whole saga for the last 2 years, remember they've now written 4 times to the city manager, and the city manager has declared this vacancy twice. We've now won twice already. We knew that we're going to be successful. It's just the chaos. It's the chaos that ensues as a result of the actions of the city manager. Why she chooses to attack the NA, that's beyond me, but yeah, that's what she chooses to do, and we'll keep on going to court every time she does this. But it's all to do with the disciplinary action that we've instituted against her. On Friday there should be a council meeting where we will be convening a special council meeting just with the one item to deal with possible suspension.
Indeed, and of course that chaos causes a lot of uncertainty for the people of Nelson Mandela Bay, who've seen so much instability in that municipality. When it comes to your position, you remain as mayor, but some in your party, Gary, say that you've been expelled. What is the way forward here?
First of all, they don't belong to the National Alliance. Up until a couple of weeks ago, the very same people who are now claiming to be members of the National Alliance were disputing the existence of the party. There was a name change. They held a so-called conference, and it was an illegal conference. They don't belong to they didn't belong to the Northern Alliance. They don't belong to the National Alliance, and their own admission was last week on another television show. They admitted that they don't have the necessary authority to have listened to the city manager. They don't have the necessary authority to write to the IEC as well. The only person that's authorized to write to the city manager or to the IEC is myself, and it's all to do with trying to evade the possible disciplinary action against the city manager. These people have no power whatsoever. They get the power from the city manager, who has now been, as you know, has been accused of or charged and arrested. Is out on bail, and it's because of the instructions from the Minister of Finance, who said that you cannot have a city manager that's criminally charged in charge of the fiscus of the metro.
And as much as there are issues clearly you face with the city manager and those in the city of the Nelson Mandela Bay Metro, one would say there's also a lot of meddling within your own political party. What has caused this internal chaos when it comes to, you being expelled and others saying that they are in charge of the party, they are the rightful owners, or those who say that they are the rightful leaders of the party? What is causing all of this instability within the National Alliance?
Look, as a party, we are a very stable party. As a coalition, we are a very stable coalition. It's all to do with the city manager that's playing in the space of the politicians. She knows the numbers. We are a council of 120 councillors. Our coalition consists of 63 councillors. If you take away the 3 councillors of the National Alliance, then you're sitting with a problem, because you need 61 councillors to in order to correct. As she knows, she's being protected by the opposition. It's no secret in terms of how these councillors, including the Good Party, especially the Good Party, DOP, ACDP, as well as the DA, protecting her. We know that parties like AIM, UDA have been very vocal in the past in terms of wanting her removed from that position. So we're still depending on them when we're going to have our special council meeting on Friday to vote accordingly.
And when it comes to, stability within your own party, have you come together to try and iron things out so that we don't see this kind of tussle for power and complication that, then finds itself within the city of Nelson Mandela Bay? Are you willing to speak to each other to try and resolve this matter? I know it's also before the courts, and it's something that you are challenging. You are challenging the legitimacy of those who say that they are the rightful leaders of your party.
Yes, let's take two members of this these imposters. One is E.R.P. Jansen, and the other one being Bevan Brown. They are not members of the party. E.R.P. Jansen was never a member of the Northern Alliance before we made the name change over to the National Alliance, and Bevan Brown was expelled from the party. The reasons for his expulsion is that he just didn't want to do the political work for the party, didn't want to grow the party, and that's why we expelled him, and we followed every a rule in terms of our constitution, in terms of law. He asked for several postponements when we held this hearing. We granted him all those postponements. Eventually, we took the route of expelling him, and then when he appealed this matter, went to court. We said, let's go to court. We appeared in court every time. When we got to court, he also asked for about 3 postponements. And eventually there, the judge got fed up with him. And eventually his matter was struck off the roll. So after the court ruling, the members of the party, about 100 of us were in our offices just to talk about this, and everybody was very resolute in terms of about the way forward and how we're going to grow the party going forward. We still have a lot of members. Remember, we got 12,000 votes in 2021, and that is what we're going to build on next year when we get to the national elections.
Yeah, and my final question to you, of course, when it goes into that council meeting that will take place, so are you certain that your coalition is indeed intact, and you will be able to remove the speaker?
Yes, that shouldn't be a problem at all. We are a coalition of 6 parties, the ANC, EFF, ourselves as the National Alliance, the PA, AIC, and the PAC. All of us are resolute in terms of what we want to achieve on Friday, as well as, like I said, there's 2 other parties as well that are resolute in terms of the suspension of the city manager. And we don't see any issues whatsoever. And everybody's looking forward to the stability in terms of governance in our city. Today was a victory for that. She tried her best to evade the disciplinary action that we want to take against her, but we are very, very, very certain that on Friday we will all be voting with each other, and we're hoping some members of the opposition, including some members of the DA, voting for her suspension.
Gary, thank you so much for your time here on SABC News. That is Gqeberha Niekerk. He is the mayor of the Nelson Mandela Bay Metro.